Hey everyone, thanks so much for checking out this content on the Hillview YouTube channel. My name's Martin.
My name is Scott.
We're two of the pastors at the church, and it's our joy to welcome you to this time. We would love it if you're able to come and join us in person. If you'd like to do that, there's some contact details at the end of the video for how you can get in touch, and we'd love to connect you up in that way.
But we also understand that maybe you don't feel that you're able to join us in person yet, and so we do hope that this video is a blessing to you, that you find out a bit of what's happening in the church and you're able to study God's Word with us. We also understand that some people have been joining us from further afield, and we would love it if you could be part of a local fellowship, a local church, and we would love to help you with that as well. And so if we can, please get in touch with us. But it's great to have you here with us.
Yeah, so we're just praying that you will be blessed and helped by this content, and that Jesus will be glorified through this video. So take care. God bless.
Good morning, folks. Hello. Hi, Iona. Iona's here. She's with me. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hillview. It's really great to see you all. It's lovely to see some different faces. I've already had a chat with a couple of people down here from Englandshire. It's very nice to have you with us. Thanks very much for coming along. We have got a slightly different service this morning, in as much as the kiddos are going to be staying in with us. Ooh, how exciting. My name's John Taylor. I'm a member here at the church. It's gonna be a different morning, as I've said, and because of that, there's going to be slight changes to the live streaming, just because of sort of with the kiddos coming up on the stage and things. We won't be able to share the whole of the visuals, so we're going to try and give you a bit of screen to look at. You'll hear some of the audio. There might be a couple of blank bits of audio where we have to mute it for copyright reasons. So if you're with us on the live stream, it might be slightly different this morning. Apologies for that, but it's because of we're going to have the kiddos up on the stage here. So there's no creche or children's church, but everything in the service is going to be suitable for all ages. We've got Ian and Hannah White are going to come and guide us through. They'll be taking us fishing. There's going to be fire. There's all sorts going on this morning. So fasten your seatbelts and prepare for the ride. It's going to be stormy. It's going to be loud. It's going to be there's going to be challenges. There's going to be actions. Yes, and even the grown-ups are going to be doing the actions. So quick, lock the doors. There's no getting out of it. It's going to be fun, and best of all, it's all going to be for the glory of God. So let's just have a little time of prayer and bring this time of worship open for God's glory. Lord, we welcome you to this place this morning. You are a loving and gracious God. We thank you for sending your Son Jesus into this world to show us the way. We are excited that after 3 days, you raised him up again to be amongst us. We say thank you that Jesus is alive and he is with us in our hearts and minds. Help us now to listen well to the good news that you have to tell us. Let us see all the wonderful things you have for us. Amen. We're going to have a time of worship. We're going to pass the offering bowls around. Please don't feel like you have to give. If you've come prepared to give, that's wonderful. But lots of people give online and other things, so just let that bowl pass by if that's not for you this morning. We've also got some welcome packs. If you're new to Hillview, if you'd like to know a little bit more about the church, there's some welcome packs at the welcome table there, and you can always sign up for our email weekly news, so please do bear that in mind. It's a good way of keeping connected with what's going on in the church. There's no new to welcome video this morning, because I think Andrew's away, but we're grateful for the work that he does on that, and I'm sure it'll be back in the next couple of weeks. But email's a good way to keep in contact. We're gonna open with a time of worship. Let's stand and give glory to God.
Brilliant, thank you, Mark. That first song was absolutely fantastic for what we're talking about today. Our shame is gone, no condemnation because of what Jesus did on the cross. I've just put lots of bits of paper on top of each other here. That's going to confuse me. That's okay. Right. Okay, good morning. Welcome. I'm Ian. This is Hannah.
Morning.
Good morning. We're so glad that you're here. And we're going to tell you a little bit about what we're doing this morning.
Yeah, so this service is going to be a little bit different, as John mentioned. So we're going to be worshipping together, praying together, and learning from the Bible. There's not going to be any children's church. We're all going to be learning in an interactive kind of way this morning.
Yeah, it's an all-age service, okay? That means it's for everybody. But that means it's going to be a little bit different, but we're still going to be doing all these things. Watch out for the sermon. It's not going to happen in one big block with me standing at the front here. It will happen spread out through the service, although there'll be a bit longer talky bit towards the end. But our hope is that we can learn from God together all the way through the services. So everybody with listening ears on so that we can try and pick up what God is trying to say to us today.
So throughout the service, we want you to use your imagination a little bit. So one of the ways that God can teach us is through imagining ourselves in some of the stories in the Bible. So we can think about what might have happened or how we might have felt or if anything that maybe surprised you during the story.
Yeah, and we hope that there'll also be little parallels to what's going on in our lives as well that can make us think, oh, what does God mean for us today, right now? So watch out for those as well. It might mean that we all learn different things, but God's good like that, isn't it? He's a personal God as well as a God for everybody together.
So as well as imagining things, we're also going to be looking at things straight from the Bible. And so it's really important to know when we're reading from Scripture. So they're going to come up on the screen, hopefully, throughout the service. But we are going to be reading from John chapter 21. So if anyone wants to follow along in their Bible as well, then that is where we're going to be, John 21.
Okay, I dropped my computer this morning off the platform, so I'm hoping it's all going to work properly. Let's just get the first slide up. Hopefully that's going to come up for you guys. Okay, we'll give it a minute. Right, what are we doing now? Oh, we're getting on a boat, aren't we?
We are getting on a boat, yes. So we're going to imagine, I was saying we're going to use our imagination today. So where you are all sitting just now, you are currently on a boat, if you can believe it. So all the seats are the boat. Everywhere around the seats, all the carpet around is the water. So you're going to need to keep your feet inside the boat a little bit there, or you're going to get wet. If anyone needs
we've got some wave sounds.
Oh, we've got some waves. Just to help set the scene, so you can feel it swaying a little bit. If anybody needs to get up to go to the toilet throughout the service, you're going to need to show me your best breaststroke or front crawl to get through all the waves.
Anywhere on the carpet is the water.
I've also got a few things to help us imagine ourselves on the boat. So I've got some fishing nets, which we will use later on. And I know some people might get a little bit seasick, so if anyone needs a bucket during the service, just give me a shout. Faz needs one, I think. She's already put her hand up. There we go.
Excellent. So we're all ready to go?
I think so, yeah.
We are all ready to go. Is it working, John? Take it out and put it back in again. Let's try this again. Oh, swimming. Give the man a snorkel quickly. Right, we'll try that. Is that coming up? It was working just before we started. Tell you what, John, I'm going to let you fiddle with it, and we're going to do something while we're doing that. Okay, well, if it was on the screen, you would see that there was a picture of Lake Galilee, which is where we are on this boat. And we're going to be in the boat with the disciples. So you are all going to be the disciples. Okay? Who's in the boat? Hannah?
Well, I wonder, has anyone turned to John 21 and would be willing to read out verse 2 for me? Who have we got? We've got Jane there in the back.
Okay, you've got some long names to say.
Simon Peter, Thomas, called the twin, Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and 2 others of his disciples were together.
Brilliant. Great job. Let's give it a clap.
Well done.
That's fantastic.
Thank you very much. So there were 7 disciples on this boat. We've got a few more than 7, but we'll pretend that there's 7 of you.
Okay. And we need a Peter, don't we?
We do need a Peter.
Yeah, we need a Peter. Somebody would like to be a Peter at that.
Ruri.
Okay, Ruri. Well done, Ruri. I'm going to get you to read tiny little bits, or I'll just tell you what to say. Okay? All right. And this is the first thing that you've got to say, Ruri. Okay, so Peter's one of the disciples. That's what you've got to say. Can you read that? I'm going out to fish, that was. Okay, and then, stay here because we need you. Okay, everybody's going to say, we'll go with you. Okay, can you have a practice? We'll go with you. Okay, right, this is proper time this time. Okay, ready?
I'm going out to fish.
Excellent, right. Okay, Peter, can you go back to the boat? Okay.
Excellent swimming. So I think we better do some rowing now.
We better do some rowing, yes. Hey, get your best rowing on. We're going to row out to the middle of the Lake of Galilee because we're going to go fishing, aren't we? Okay, and when we go fishing, what do we want to catch? Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to have to catch some fish. We nearly there yet? Are you tired? Okay, let's stop for a minute. Okay, we're going to throw the net out. Now, kids, I would like you all to be the net. Okay?
That does
all right.
not mean that parents can throw their children out the boat, though. So.
Yeah. Okay. So, kids, if you'd like to
lower them over the side of the boat.
Yeah, gently lower them over the side of the boat. Bring them up here, okay? Okay. If you would like to come, I want you to come and look for the fish.
Excellent swimming, guys.
Brilliant. Well done. Excellent. We have got lots of kids, haven't we?
Perfect.
Wow. You got wet.
Good swimming, Tony.
Oh no, I didn't bring a towel.
Oh no.
Okay. We are going to, I'm not sure if the music's going to work, but we'll try and put the hornpipe music on. And we are going to go fishing. So, actually, we don't need the hornpipe music yet.
Right,
okay.
So you guys have got to find as many fish as you can and bring them back to me. I'm going to hold the net up. So around the boat, you've got to try and find some fish.
Okay, they're in the water, okay, which is all the way around the outside and all the way up to the back and down the middle. Ready, go.
Right, see how many fish you can get. Do you want to hold this for me, Oliver? Right, you stay here. We'll hold it here.
Darren, shall I restart my computer and see if that helps?
How many fish have we got? Have you found any yet, Zoe? No fish? What have you caught? Can you not find any fish either? Right, adults as well, you're going to need to have a look around, see if you can find any under your seat or anything. No fish? Has anyone found any fish yet? Where are they? In the net. There's none in the net yet.
Okay.
Okay, I don't think they were managing to find any fish.
I don't think we found anything, no. So, I think we need someone to read out verse 3 from our verses. Could anybody do that for us? Iona's going to do that for us. Okay, kids. Actually, I think we'll take the net back into the boat so you can go back and sit with your grown-ups. Okay. Can you read verse 3 for us? Okay.
Simon Peter said, "I'm going fishing. We'll come too," they all said. So they went out in the boat, but they caught nothing all night.
They caught nothing all night. So they were in the middle of the boat, in the middle of the sea, with looking for fish, but nothing. So what do you think they did, Hannah?
I don't know. They'd have been sitting there a long time all night, though. I wonder if they'd been chatting to each other.
I think they probably would have been chatting to each other,
Yeah.
didn't they? Yeah. What do you think they were chatting about?
I wonder if they were remembering other stories when they were on a boat. Maybe when Jesus was with them.
Maybe, yeah. I remember a story about when Jesus was in the boat.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Yeah, and it started raining.
That's right. It started with a little storm, didn't it?
Yeah, a little storm.
Right, I think we're going to need to make the storm just now. So can everyone rub your fingers together? And then the storm got a little bit louder. And a little bit louder. And then the rain started coming. And it got louder and 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 louder.
Yeah, go for it.
And they were getting thrown from side to side.
Looks hopeful.
But I think we're missing someone.
Oh, yeah, we are. Stop.
Who was in the boat? Rory. Peter. Who else was in the boat? Who was... Yeah. Jesus. I heard someone say Jesus. Well done. So Jesus, we're going to need a Jesus. Would anyone like to be Jesus? Rory, you had your hand up for Peter as well, so do you want to come up? Right, so Jesus was asleep on the boat. Do you think you can lie down? Oh, night. That's one way to sleep. Right, so we're going to do our storm again. Now we've got Jesus asleep in the boat. So I'm going to start rubbing our fingers together. Started off nice and calm. And then it got louder and louder. And then the rain started coming. But it got heavier and heavier. And louder and louder. And they were being tossed side to side. Getting a bit seasick here. And then Jesus said,
Quiet, be still.
Thank you very much. You can sit down now. Brilliant.
Thank you, Rory.
Wow. That was a really important day for the disciples because they realized how strong and mighty Jesus was, wasn't it? There was our storm in the boat. Catching up now. Okay, but I bet they told each other the stories that they'd heard and they'd seen and they'd been with over the last week or two just before this happened. Because something really, really big happened just about over a week ago. And we were talking about it in church last week. Anybody know what stories about Jesus we were talking about in church last week? Yes.
Yeah, it was Easter and Jesus rose from the dead. Well done, Zoe.
That's right. Well done. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to watch the story of what happened a little bit to remind us of the stories that they would have been telling each other. It's just going to skip for a minute because I had to restart first. Sound coming out my computer, but not the... Okay, I don't think the sound's going to work, but I'm going to tell you the story. Jesus had to go up to this place called the Skull, and after they'd been really cruel and beaten him up, they put him on a cross. And everybody was shouting at him and saying, "You can save yourself because you're big and strong." But Jesus didn't stay big and strong then. He chose to be really weak. And he even died on the cross. And he died so that we could be forgiven. That was why Jesus died for us. And then this strange thing happened in the middle. The temple curtain tore right down the middle. And that bit was giving us a sign that everybody would be able to know God and be in God's presence instead of just one person once a year. And this soldier was watching how Jesus died and he said, "This must have been the Son of God." And this man put Jesus in the tomb and it went dark because Jesus had died. And the disciples would have been really sad, wouldn't they? That wasn't what they were expecting. They were expecting Jesus to be big and strong. But instead, Jesus died. I expect it took them a little while to work out why that happened. But while they were still watching that, a few days later, 2 days later, the women came to the tomb and they looked in, and Jesus' body was gone. And an angel appeared and told them, he's not here. Jesus has risen. Go and tell all the others about what's happened. And so they thought about it, and then they rushed off to tell Peter and the other disciples. And they told them everything that happened. Jesus is alive. It's amazing. And Jesus appeared to them too. And he told them all about why he had to die. That whoever believed in him wouldn't perish, but would have eternal life if they believed in Jesus, and they could be forgiven. And he told them to go to Galilee, to wait for him to come. And that's the rest of our story today. Okay. Right. So, should we tell the rest of the story?
Are we doing a song first?
Oh, we are doing a song. We're going to praise Jesus for that. Yeah, we're going to do a song.
He's the one who makes the sun shine. He's the one who puts the moon in the sky. He's the one who hung the stars one by one. He's the one who makes the birds sing. He's the one who makes your dreams so high. He's the one who makes me smile. Day by day, Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Yeah, 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 yeah. Better than Spider-Man. Yeah, 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 yeah. Better than Superman. Yeah, 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 yeah. Better than Batman. Yeah, 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 yeah. Better than anyone. Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Yeah, 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 yeah. Better than Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, 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 yeah. Better than Bobby. Yeah, 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 yeah. Better than Action Man. Yeah, 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 yeah. Better than everyone. Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend.
Okay. Can Jesus really throw robots over his shoulder?
Well, maybe.
You don't
don't
think
think
so?
so,
No, I
no.
don't think so either, because I don't think giant robots really exist, do they? But Jesus exists, and he can do these amazing things, like producing lots of fish that weren't there.
Yeah.
And dying for us and coming back to life and healing us and changing us. So he really is our superhero. Okay, kids, we're going to read another bit of the story because we're going somewhere else in a second.
So we are back in, I don't know if this is right, John 21. So this is reading from verse 7. So then the disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, "It is the Lord." As soon as Simon Peter heard him say, "It is the Lord," he wrapped his outer garment around him, for he had taken it off, and jumped into the water. And the other disciples followed in the boat, towing the net full of fish, for they were not far from shore, about 100 yards.
So we need a bit more rowing.
We need a bit more rowing to get all the way in. Jesus.
All the way in.
Oh, arms are getting tired now. That's it. And where did they end up?
They ended up on the shore of Lake Galilee. And when they got there, they saw a fire of coals burning on the beach with some bread. And Jesus said to them, "Bring some fish that you've just caught." So Simon Peter went back to the boat, and he climbed back on board, and he pulled out not 20 fish, not 24 fish, but 153 fish.
Wow, that's a lot of fish. Yeah. Right, so kids, do you want to come around the fire just now? And I've got some fish here.
If you sit round the fire,
You sit round
that
the
would
fire.
be great, but I'm going to sit right at the back here, okay?
Right, and we've got some fish to cook on the fire. There we go. Yeah, watch, don't touch it. It is quite hot.
Wow. So we're barbecuing our fish because Jesus said, "Come and have breakfast." Fancy having breakfast with Jesus. You haven't got one? There we go. We've got everybody in. You're burning the fish. Oh no. But the burnt bits are the best bits, aren't they? I think so. Okay, right. I'd like you to leave your fish. Listen. Listening. Everybody listening? You leave your fish hanging in the fire for a minute. Okay, let them cook. Because I want to ask you some questions. Okay? Just watch you don't poke yourself with the sticks, okay? That would be good. Shall I help you? Let's pop it in here like that. Okay? All the way down there. I think Hannah's going to have to do some fish rescuing later on. That's okay. That's okay. We'll find them in a minute, but I want to ask you some questions. Okay? We'll leave them cooking for a minute. Okay. I wonder if you ever wondered what it would have been like to be alive when Jesus was on the earth. Have you ever wondered that? Yeah? Yeah, I used to wonder that a lot. What would it be like? Because sometimes knowing God is a bit tricky because we can't see him. But the disciples were able to see him and be with Jesus for 3 whole years. And that time was nearly finished, but they really enjoyed being with Jesus, didn't they? And one of the reasons that Jesus came was to show us what God was like. So anything that Jesus did, or anything that Jesus was like, means that it's the same as God. That's what God's like too. Okay. Listening? I want to ask you a question, then I'm going to ask the grown-ups some questions. Okay? What do you think the disciples felt sitting on the beach by the fire, being with Jesus? Any thoughts? Have I got this on? Yes. What do you think? I'm going to hold it. You speak. Confused? Yeah, I think they might have felt confused. Surprised? Yeah, not sure if the handheld's working out. Yeah. Oh, no, I think some of them would have gone, I don't know. Yeah. Happy? I think they'd be very happy to be with Jesus. Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazed?
Like,
Yeah. Okay, one more answer. Yeah.
excited.
Excited. Yeah. I think the disciples would have been all of those things. Because just a few weeks ago, they'd been really really, really sad that Jesus had died, and they didn't expect that. And then they would have been really shocked and surprised that Jesus came back to life. And then they saw him twice, and sometimes they saw him on his own, and this was the next time they came. But I think Jesus did a really kind thing and gave them all breakfast to have some proper time with him. And I think, well, what do you think Jesus was feeling? Any ideas? What do you think Jesus thought about this? Happy. I bet you he was happy. Yeah? Because these people were Jesus' friends, weren't they? Yeah? Did you know Jesus had to have friends like we do? Yeah? Best friend like everybody knew. Yeah? Well, he loves absolutely everybody. That's absolutely true. And the good thing is that when we come to be in Jesus' family, he calls us his friends. That's what becoming a Christian is about. It's about being friends with Jesus. Okay. I think it was really strange. Not strange, that's the right word. Really amazing that in the midst of all these big things happening, the death and his resurrection, that Jesus took time to care for his disciples. They'd been up all night, nothing to eat. They thought they were in control and they could get this all sorted themselves, because they're good at being fishermen, aren't they? But Jesus brought them what they needed, and he cared for them in their bodies and their minds. He gave them time to process some of what's going on, to talk with him and ask some questions. And Jesus cares for us. So my question to the grown-ups is, you can answer this one in your tuba. It's a thinking question. Do we need, as people at the moment, to allow Jesus to care for us in our minds and our bodies? Because Jesus cares for those things as well as our spirit and what happens in our spirit, and we'll talk about that in a minute. He also cares for our physical needs and our emotional needs. Do we need God to speak to us about that today? Hold that thought, because we're going to take a chance to respond to some of the questions that I'm going to ask in a little while. I'm going to ask various questions for us to think about. Okay, right. Now, I wonder if anybody can tell me what it would smell like here on the beach at the moment. Okay? What would it smell like? Zoe? Fishy. I bet it smelled fishy because we were cooking fish, yes. Okay, any other ideas?
Smoky.
Smoky, that was the answer I was wanting. Fishy is good as well, okay? That's fine. Fish are very smelly, and the fire was... It's okay, I've got an answer just now. And the fire was very smoky, wasn't it? Yeah? Have you ever smelt smoke? Yeah? Hannah came back from holiday this week because she'd been in a log cabin with a log fire, and all her clothes smelt of smoke. Even after she washed her hair still smelt of smoke. Yeah? Well, I want you, and we might need to ask the grown-ups this one, see if you can remember the last time in the Bible Peter was round a fire and would have smelled smoke. Somebody thinks they've got an idea. Yeah, go for it.
When he denied Jesus and said he wasn't his friend.
Yes. Did you hear that? Zoe said, when Peter denied Jesus and said he wasn't his friend. Just before Jesus died, Peter was standing trying to warm himself at a fire just at the place where they were being horrible to Jesus. And somebody said, do you know Jesus? And Peter said, no, I don't know Jesus, which was a lie, wasn't it? And they asked him 3 times, do you know Jesus? You were with him, I saw you, I heard you. And Peter was really frightened, and he said, no, I don't know Jesus. He was really saying, I'm not Jesus' friend. And that was after Peter had given a big boast, saying, I will follow you anywhere. He was saying, I'm the superhero. Peter was saying, I'll follow you anywhere. I'll stick up for you. I'll never leave you. Even if I have to die for you, I won't leave you, said Peter. But actually, when he was round the fire, he said he didn't know Jesus at all. And do you know what he did after that? Yeah, Rory? He cried because a cockerel crowed and he remembered that Jesus said that that's what he would do. And he cried because he was so upset that he'd let Jesus down. And Jesus saw him and looked at him. I think Jesus would be sad too. Really upset and depressed. So I think when Peter was around this fire, these smells might have been reminding him about that. And Jesus knew about it, didn't he? So, what do you think Jesus did? What do you think Jesus could do to make that get it better again? Yeah? Whoops, sorry, I'm standing on your feet. I didn't mean to do that. Yes?
Give him another chance.
Give him another chance. That's the end of the sermon. Well done. Okay? Give him another chance. Why did Jesus die on the cross? What did it say on the video? Yeah? Let's ask the grown-ups and we'll see if they can all shout it out together. Okay? Why did Jesus die on the cross for us?
For our sin.
Yeah, that was half an answer. Okay. Yeah, Jesus died so that we could be forgiven when we mess up. And we all mess up sometimes, don't we? We all do things that we're ashamed of, that we're sad about. Yeah? And Jesus forgives us. Now, I wonder, do you think Jesus forgives us quickly, or do you think Jesus forgives us slowly? He holds on to it and goes in a mood and a rumble. I'm not going to say that you're all right until I've had a good moan about it. No? No? I think Jesus forgives us quickly, doesn't he? Yeah? The Bible says God is quick to forgive, and I think Jesus is quick to forgive. When Jesus was dying on the cross, he forgave the people while they were crucifying him. They said, forgive them for they don't know what they're doing. And I think Jesus forgives really quickly, and I think Jesus probably had already forgiven Peter by the time they got round the fire. But I don't think Peter believed that yet. Sometimes we feel really ashamed, don't we? And we can't really accept that we're forgiven. Yeah? I remember when I was at primary 1. Can you remember being in primary 1? It's hard to think that I can remember when I was in primary 1. That was a year ago. Well, it was many years ago. Yeah? And, yeah? Only 3 years for you. And I was sitting in a group like this, and the teacher was telling a story, and there was a boy in front of me, and his t-shirt had just gone up a little bit at the back, and I could see his skin. And I thought, I'll just tickle him on the back. While the teacher was reading the story, and the teacher said, stop it. But it was so tempting, I did it again. And the teacher said, stand up, Ian. And I had to go to the front, and I had to stand in front of the board, facing the board, while she finished the story. I was so upset. I didn't show it, so I was trying to be brave, but I was upset. But actually, I was ashamed that I'd done something I knew I shouldn't have been doing. And I don't know. I don't know why I tickled him. It just seemed like a good thing to do at the time. Anyway, what happened was that I was really ashamed, and I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody at home. What had happened. And for weeks and weeks, I didn't want to go to school because I was so upset. That was a bit silly, wasn't it? Because the teacher wouldn't have been angry the next day, or even the next 5 minutes. But I felt really ashamed, and that happens to us sometimes when we get something wrong. When we do something that we know we shouldn't have done, or we hurt someone, we say something. And sometimes God has to make sure that we know that we're forgiven, and to heal that shame and that guilt. And sometimes the devil even makes us feel guilty when we're not guilty at all. So, Jesus needed to know, to tell Peter that he was forgiven, and that he had a second chance, like he said again. Okay, I'm going to help you in a second. Maybe Hannah will help you in a minute. Everybody sit down until we do this, okay? I'm going to help you get your fish out, and you're going to take them over to the table. And yes, and do you want to do the table first? Okay, tell you what, leave the fish in the fire. Leave the fish in the fire. Hannah's got extra fish at the table, okay? You're going to go and do some decorating on the table for a minute while I say one or two more things. And then you can come back and get the fish at the end, okay? So we'll get the fish at the end, okay? Leave the fish in there. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, hopefully I think in the middle, while they're drawing on the fish, yeah, you can come and join in. They're going to write down on the fish, "Do you love me?" Which was the question that Jesus asked Peter 3 times. The first time he said, "Do you love me more than these?" Remember reminding Peter about the boast, where he said, "I'm going to be better than you and I won't leave you," all the rest of the disciples. And Jesus was just reminding Peter. Maybe Peter was so excited to see Jesus, although that little hurt was still there in his heart, he wasn't really thinking about it at the time. And then Jesus asked Peter, I knew I was going to say that around the wrong way. Peter asked Jesus, rewind. Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" 3 times. And it says Peter was hurt. Peter was sad. And sometimes when God's working in our hearts, when he's healing in us, particularly with forgiveness, he has to take us to the place where it's a little bit painful, so that he can heal us and change us. Sometimes with each other, when we're dealing with forgiving each other, we have to take each other to a little bit where it's painful and talk about what happened. That's difficult for me as a people pleaser who wants everybody not to be upset. But sometimes we have to go to painful places to allow the forgiveness to happen. And Jesus took Peter there. He was upset. But Peter said, "I love you." That was true. Even though Peter had messed up, he still loved Jesus. And Jesus knew that. We can love Jesus, we can sing about Jesus, all these praise songs, but we still mess up. And it's not that we've forgotten Jesus altogether. It's just that sometimes we do things in how we live feeling that we're not forgiven. Jesus gave Peter a job to do, a really important job to do, because he said, "Feed my sheep, feed my lambs." He was giving Peter the job of looking after his disciples when Jesus had gone. He was to start growing the church. And later, of course, he sent his Spirit to help him do that. It wasn't that he left Peter to do it all by himself. But he was giving Peter the job to do, to look after his church. But he wanted Peter to do that knowing that he was forgiven. How often we make a mess of our relationships by serving the way that we think we should serve, by trying harder, by trying to prove that we are good enough for God. Even in our relationships with God, we try and prove to God that we're good enough because we haven't accepted that we're forgiven. And Jesus didn't want that for Peter. He wanted Peter to serve from a place of knowing that he was forgiven, that it was in the past, and that he was doing it because Jesus loved Peter and Peter loved Jesus. Okay, I'm going to go and see how these fish are getting on. Oh, beautiful designs. I love. Can I show this one? Whoops. We've got beautiful fish going on here. Excellent. View of that. Anybody else want to show their fish? Not yet. Yeah, hold it up high because I can't reach you over there without standing on someone. Hold it up high and everybody can see. Brilliant. Excellent. Okay. Right, I'd like you to put your fish down for a minute because I want to show you something. Right, now, I know it's hard to stop doing something when you're in the middle of something, so apologies for breaking in here. Okay? But, no, I'm going to hold it because it's sharp. Okay? I want you to think for a minute, if you came to my house for Sunday lunch, okay? And we had fish and chips for Sunday lunch, and then we all went through the kitchen and we did the washing up. And you were helping me with the washing up, and I gave you one of our really special plates. To dry up for me, okay? Because they don't go in the dishwasher, okay? They're a present to someone. And you were rubbing the plate and getting it ready, yeah? But suddenly, it got cracked because you dropped it on the floor. Oh, I broke it this morning. Don't tell my wife. No, she does know. She does know. It was already half broken. You would be a bit sad and sorry, probably, and I would say, don't worry, I forgive you. But I wonder how you would know that you were forgiven. What do you think? How would you know that you were forgiven, apart from you just heard me say it? It's a difficult one, isn't it? How do we know we're forgiven? Well, one of the ways we know we're forgiven is if we get trusted to do the thing again. Now, it doesn't always mean that you have to trust just because you forgive, but if someone trusts you again, then you know you're forgiven. So we can't mend it. No matter what we do, we can't put things together sometimes when we do things wrong. Well, it was already half broken, so I just finished it off. But if you came to my house the next Sunday and we did the washing up again, do you think I should give you the plate, another plate to dry up? No? Maybe not. Maybe that's what I would feel. But if I did give you another plate to dry, you would know that I'd forgiven you and I trusted you, wouldn't you? And that's what Jesus did with Peter. One of the ways Peter knew that he was forgiven was because Jesus gave Peter a job to do, to look after all the people that Jesus was leaving on the earth to be his church. Okay. Right, I'm going to let you finish colouring for a moment, and then I'm going to tell you how we're going to finish off the service. I'm just going to put this away before I do anybody any damage. I could try and glue it back together. It has been through stuff, yeah. Okay. Guys, doing the fish just now, what I'd like you to do, and you might need a grown-up to help you with this, if you've still got space on the other side, I would like you to write, "Do you love me?" on the back, okay? Hannah and Kathy will maybe help you, okay? Do you love me? Because that was the question that Jesus asked Peter. But grown-ups, you're not being left out because you're about to all get fish too. And I'd like you to write your response to something that has been important to you today, okay? I don't think I can show you on the video. I had 4 questions that I was going to ask, so I'm just going to read them out to you, okay? And if you want a fish and a pen, grab one. There might not be enough for everyone. If you want to make your response by singing, we're going to do that in the normal way in a minute too, okay? But I'm going to give you 4 questions just to ask. Oh, there's 5. I'll give you a minute just to grab stuff. So kids, if you write, "Do you love me?" because that's a question that I want you to think about. And for the grown-ups, you could write the question or you could write your answer, okay? You can write a question and go put it in your pocket and think about it during the week. Or you could write an answer to one of these questions, and you can either put it in your pocket and think about it in a week, or you can bring it up and put it in the fire as our response to what Jesus is asking us. So here are the questions. Do you love me? It's the first question, isn't it? Do you love Jesus? Have you accepted his love for you? The question I asked earlier, do you need Jesus? It's okay, John, don't worry about it. Do you need Jesus? Because I'm going to change the questions anyway. Do you need Jesus to heal your mind or your body just now? Are you needing Jesus to care for you in that way just now? Maybe that will be your prayer for today. Is there a painful place at the moment where you feel trapped by shame or guilt, or not sure if you've been forgiven, that you want to bring to Jesus and say, please show me that I'm forgiven? Or are you serving from knowing that you're loved and you're forgiven? Okay. So I'm going to try and say those again if I can remember them all. Do you love me? Do you need Jesus to care for your heart and your mind and your body this morning? Tell him about that on your fish. Is there a painful place where you feel shame or guilt that you need Jesus to heal? And what are you doing to serve? Are you aware you're serving because always trying harder, always trying to be the best to make it up to God? Or are you serving from a place of freedom and forgiveness? Invite you to write your own response to what we've done today. Okay. I'll give you a minute to do that, and then I'll explain what we're doing to finish off. All right. Oh, that is louder, isn't it? Thank you. Kids, we've got a song to sing and do aerobics to, because we haven't done the aerobics from Holiday Club yet. We're going to do that in a minute. So finish off your last squiggles and lines. We're going to sing a song. It's a bouncy song about Jesus forgiving us and rescuing us. Sometimes we just feel full of joy. Sometimes we need a little bit longer to talk to God and to process something through. If you want really quiet, by all means head out into the prayer space room, which is around the corner as you go out the door. Or you can just sit and watch, or you can join in. But we're going to do our aerobics from Holiday Club. But I think, are we putting the words up? Yeah? No, we're not going to put the words up. You have to listen to the words, which speak about what God has done for us, and then we're going to sing to finish our service. Okay? I did promise you, if you wanted to, just as the disciples brought their fish to Jesus, you can bring your fish and put them in the fire. We've taken the other fish out of the way. I will shred those at the end, so it's private, okay? But if you want a physical way of responding, you can bring your fish and put it in while we're doing the aerobics, okay? Just avoid